Welcome to the TrackPass podcast, your go-to destination for exploring the rich history, strategies, and leadership lessons of warfare. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast and sign up for the weekly newsletter. You can also explore more by visiting trackpass.com. In this podcast episode, we take you deep below the surface to uncover the crucial role played by the silent service during World War II. From early challenges with defective torpedoes to the daring patrols that crippled Japan's wartime economy, we narrate the full story of the U.S. submarine force in the Pacific. This episode explores the evolution of submarine warfare, the legacy of its legendary commanders, and the strategic impact of one of the war's most decisive and overlooked forces. Silent shadows of the Pacific, laying the foundation. During World War II, the United States submarine force, known as the Silent Service, played a pivotal but often overlooked role in securing victory in the Pacific. Initially hampered by restrictive pre-war policies, flawed torpedoes, and a doctrine focused on reconnaissance rather than attack, American submariners adapted quickly to the realities of war. They transformed into lethal commerce raiders, striking deep into Japanese supply lines and crippling the enemy's ability to sustain its war effort. Through relentless innovation, daring commanders, and evolving tactics, these submarines sank thousands of enemy ships, outmaneuvered increasingly sophisticated defenses, and shaped the future of naval warfare. Their actions not only hastened Japan's defeat, but also laid the groundwork for the modern submarine force, cementing their legacy as one of the most effective and strategic assets of the war. Interwar naval treaties limited the expansion of submarine fleets, forcing the United States Navy to be strategic in its undersea warfare development. This led to the creation of the fleet boat, a long-range submarine designed for extended patrols in the vast Pacific. Unlike earlier coastal submarines, these boats were built for endurance, allowing them to operate independently far from home bases. The fleet boat used diesel-electric propulsion, enabling greater range and stealth. Diesel engines powered the boat on the surface, charging batteries that allowed for silent movement underwater. This system ensured submarines could keep pace with capital ships when necessary, while remaining undetected when submerged. Pre-war training emphasized reconnaissance and defensive operations rather than aggressive attacks. Exercises focused on tracking enemy movements and reporting intelligence rather than direct engagement. When war broke out, submariners quickly had to shift from passive observation to offensive warfare, adapting their tactics in real time. Before the attack on Pearl Harbor, United States submarines were stationed at key Pacific bases like Pearl Harbor and the Philippines. These early deployments were hindered by limited intelligence on Japanese shipping routes, forcing crews to learn through experience. Nighttime engagements and torpedo effectiveness proved difficult to master, with many initial patrols ending in frustration. Coordinating multiple submarine squadrons across the Pacific posed significant logistical challenges. Limited resources meant balancing maintenance and patrol schedules, ensuring boats remained operational despite heavy demands. Communication with Fleet Command was difficult due to radio restrictions and a lack of reliable reconnaissance, leaving many crews to operate with minimal guidance. As the war progressed, United States submarine doctrine evolved from defensive scouting to aggressive commerce raiding. Intelligence from code-breaking operations allowed submarines to pinpoint critical supply routes and strike vulnerable convoys. Recognizing their strategic value, commanders granted sub-captains greater autonomy, leading to more daring and independent patrols that wreaked havoc on Japanese shipping. Torpedo trouble. Overcoming the dud dilemma. The Mark 14 torpedo was a major source of frustration for United States submarine crews in the early years of the war. Designed with a magnetic exploder meant to detonate beneath a ship's hull, it frequently malfunctioned, leading to duds, premature explosions, or torpedoes that passed harmlessly under targets. Despite mounting evidence from the fleet, higher command was reluctant to admit fault, blaming poor marksmanship instead of defective technology. These failures not only cost the Navy valuable opportunities, but also undermined the confidence of submarine crews who found themselves in dangerous situations with unreliable weapons. Determined to prove the defects, sub-captains conducted their own field tests, firing torpedoes under controlled conditions to demonstrate their flaws. Many crews resorted to makeshift fixes, disabling the faulty magnetic exploders in favor of simple contact detonators. Eventually, the Navy accepted these findings and officially adopted the contact exploder, greatly improving reliability. Once corrected, confirmed sinking surged, and submarines became far more effective in their role as commerce raiders. The torpedo failures forced submariners to adapt their attack tactics in the meantime. To compensate for unreliable weapons, commanders often launched multiple torpedoes in a spread, hoping at least one would function properly. Close-range attacks became more common to minimize the risk of duds, even though this increased the danger to the submarine. Subcrews also began working more closely with aircraft spotters to ensure precise targeting, reducing wasted shots and increasing their effectiveness against enemy shipping. With torpedo reliability restored, the effectiveness of United States submarines skyrocketed. Tonnage sunk per patrol rose sharply, as skippers no longer had to waste valuable shots or attempt multiple attacks on a single target. Confidence among submarine crews rebounded, leading to more aggressive and ambitious patrols, even in heavily defended waters. This success solidified submarines as a dominant offensive weapon, paving the way for their critical role in strangling Japan's supply lines for the remainder of the war. Hunting the Empire, tactics and triumphs on the high seas. United States submarines focused their efforts on key shipping lanes, targeting critical supply routes that sustained Japan's war effort. The Tokyo Express lanes near the Solomon Islands, used to ferry troops and supplies, became prime hunting grounds. In the East China Sea, American subs patrolled narrow straits where Japanese convoys had limited maneuverability. Supply lines connecting the home islands to occupied territories in the Pacific, including those supporting garrisons in the Philippines, were also relentlessly attacked. By cutting these lifelines, United States submarines forced Japan to spread its already stretched escort forces even thinner. American submarines experimented with wolf pack tactics, attempting to coordinate multiple boats against high-value convoys, though success varied. More effective were joint operations with surface fleets and aircraft carriers, where submarines acted as forward scouts or finished off damaged ships. Intelligence from ultra-code-breaking provided critical information on convoy schedules, allowing subs to intercept enemy ships before they could reach safety. Carefully planned ambush zones placed submarines along expected routes, trapping cargo vessels and escorts in devastating kill zones. The impact on Japan's economy was severe. Oil tankers and freighters became top targets, causing fuel shortages that crippled both industry and the Imperial Navy's ability to operate. Without a steady flow of raw materials like rubber, steel, and food supplies, Japan's manufacturing capacity declined. The increasing danger at sea forced Japanese convoys to take longer, less efficient routes, further straining resources. By the later stages of the war, Japan's logistical network was in ruins, with submarines playing a crucial role in its collapse. Beyond economic warfare, submarines provided direct military support in ways beyond simply sinking enemy ships. They conducted reconnaissance for upcoming amphibious assaults, gathering intelligence on enemy positions before major landings. Troop transport interdiction prevented Japanese reinforcements from reaching critical battlefronts, disrupting the enemy's ability to fight prolonged campaigns. Special operations included landing scouts behind enemy lines and rescuing downed pilots, often under extreme risk. By isolating enemy strongholds and assisting the broader island-hopping strategy, submarines proved themselves indispensable to the overall Pacific War effort. Steel sharks, legendary boats and crews, making waves. U.S. Wahoo, under the command of Dudley Morton, became one of the most feared submarines in the Pacific due to its aggressive tactics. Morton revolutionized attack strategies, favoring bold surface engagements and rapid torpedo strikes. USS Barb, led by Eugene Fluckey, was famous not only for sinking enemy ships, but for launching a daring shore raid, making his crew the only United States submariners to conduct a land attack in Japan. USS Tang, commanded by Richard O'Kane, set records for effectiveness, utilizing innovative tactics that maximized torpedo efficiency. USS Growler's legacy was cemented when Captain Howard Gilmore, mortally wounded, ordered his crew to take her down, sacrificing himself to save his men. American submarines shattered records, crippling Japanese shipping through high-tonnage patrols that destroyed vital supply lines. Some, like the USS Tang and USS Wahoo, sank an astonishing number of enemy vessels, including key warships and transport ships critical to Japan's logistics. Stealth played a crucial role, allowing submarines to infiltrate well-defended harbors, attack enemy ships at anchor, and slip away undetected. As Japanese anti-submarine efforts intensified, successful boats had to outmaneuver aircraft, destroyers, and depth charges, turning the underwater battlefield into a deadly chess match. The crews of these submarines formed tight-knit units, where survival depended on absolute trust and teamwork. Successful boats often developed a cult-like camaraderie shaped by months of dangerous patrols in enemy waters. Intelligence was frequently shared between veteran commanders and new crews, helping refine tactics and improve success rates. Many of the war's most decorated individuals came from the submarine force, their valor recognized with awards like the Medal of Honor and the Navy Cross. Public interest in submarine warfare surged as news of their exploits reached the home front. Wartime press releases painted submarine commanders as aces, much like fighter pilots, elevating them to near-mythic status. Their victories, often against overwhelming odds, gave Americans stories of resilience and ingenuity, boosting national morale. Submarine achievements were also used in war bond drives, helping finance the war through public support. After the war, these stories became legendary, reinforcing the mystique of the silent service and ensuring their place in naval history. Hero of the deep, Dick O'Kane's daring pursuits. Dick O'Kane's journey to becoming one of the most legendary submarine commanders of World War II began with a strong foundation at the United States Naval Academy. Early in his career, he served under the aggressive and innovative Dudley Mush Morton aboard USS Wahoo, where he absorbed cutting-edge attack doctrines that prioritized speed, precision, and bold action. O'Kane quickly distinguished himself by embracing these new tactics, proving to be a formidable tactician in convoy attack. His natural leadership earned him the respect of both his superiors and the men under his command, setting the stage for his own legendary service. As captain of USS Tang, O'Kane pushed the limits of submarine warfare, refining torpedo firing techniques to maximize effectiveness. He specialized in nighttime surface attacks, using the cover of darkness to evade detection while launching devastating assaults on enemy shipping. His aggressive approach resulted in one of the highest success rates of any United States submarine, with Tang repeatedly returning from patrols, having sunk an extraordinary tonnage of enemy vessels. O'Kane's fearless leadership and strategic brilliance earned him multiple decorations, reinforcing his status as one of the most effective undersea warriors of the war. Tang's patrols were marked by bold, calculated strikes on vital Japanese shipping lanes, often in heavily defended waters. O'Kane led coordinated attacks that penetrated escort screens with minimal detection, exploiting weaknesses in enemy defenses. His ability to adapt to changing conditions, including rough seas and shifting convoy patterns, allowed Tang to strike with precision under any circumstances. The submarine's missions consistently dealt crippling blows to Japanese logistics, further tightening the noose around Japan's war effort. Tragedy struck on Tang's final patrol when one of its own torpedoes malfunctioned and circled back, striking the submarine. O'Kane survived the sinking but was captured by the Japanese, enduring months of brutal treatment in a prisoner-of-war camp. Despite the ordeal, he emerged from captivity as one of the most celebrated submarine commanders of the war. His legacy, built on innovation, bravery, and an unparalleled record of success, remains a cornerstone of United States submarine history, influencing generations of naval officers who followed in his wake. Innovation below the surface, evolving technology and strategy. As the war progressed, technological advancements transformed submarine warfare, making United States boats even deadlier and harder to detect. Improved sonar systems refined target acquisition, allowing submarines to detect enemy ships at greater distances and with higher accuracy. Enhanced radar provided a crucial advantage during night operations, helping submarines avoid surface threats while tracking enemy convoys. Quieter propulsion systems and streamlined hull designs increased stealth, making it more difficult for Japanese escorts to locate and attack submerged boats. Meanwhile, upgraded torpedoes finally maintained the reliability gains hard-earned through trial and error in the early war years, ensuring that every shot counted. Crew training became more rigorous as the Navy refined its submarine warfare programs. The Submarine School in New London intensified its curriculum, incorporating advanced simulation drills that replicated real combat scenarios. Returning veterans shared first-hand knowledge of enemy tactics and operational best practices, ensuring that new crews learned from experience rather than through costly mistakes. Physical conditioning also became a focus, preparing sailors to endure the extended periods of confinement and psychological strain that came with prolonged patrols in hostile waters. Improved coordination and communication played a crucial role in enhancing submarine effectiveness. Advances in radio encryption allowed for more secure transmissions, reducing the risk of enemy interception. The use of sector commands helped position submarines more strategically, ensuring maximum coverage of enemy shipping lanes. Intelligence from codebreakers was rapidly disseminated, giving submarines real-time targeting information. Collaboration with aerial reconnaissance further strengthened these efforts, allowing subs to strike with greater precision based on enemy convoy movements. With Japan strengthening its defensive measures, United States submarines had to adapt to increasingly capable escort ships and anti-submarine patrols. Skilled maneuvering around improved convoy protection became essential, requiring captains to develop new evasion techniques. Submarines took advantage of deeper diving capabilities to avoid depth charge attacks, a critical improvement as Japanese sonar detection grew more advanced. Constant analysis of combat data led to refined attack angles and better tactical positioning, ensuring that submarines remained a dominant force despite the enemy's best efforts to counter them. Legacy in the depths, the enduring impact of America's silent service. United States submarines played a decisive role in crippling Japan's war economy by cutting off vital supply lines. Sustained attacks on oil tankers, freighters, and troop transports strangled Japan's ability to sustain its military and industrial operations. Despite the Imperial Navy's best efforts to protect its convoys, American submarines proved relentless, forcing Japan to divert precious resources to anti-submarine warfare. By controlling the seas through aggressive submarine operations, the Allies amplified their naval superiority, isolating Japanese forces and accelerating the enemy's eventual defeat. Lessons from World War II submarine warfare directly influenced post-war naval innovation, leading to the development of nuclear-powered submarines. The transition to nuclear propulsion eliminated the need for frequent surfacing, giving submarines virtually unlimited endurance and stealth. Advances in sonar, radar, and guided missile technology stemmed from wartime experiences, shaping the next generation of undersea warfare. The war also instilled a culture of constant improvement, emphasizing adaptability and strategic thinking in submarine design and operations. The legacy of the silent service remains deeply ingrained in naval history, with World War II submarine veterans honored for their contributions. Their daring patrols and sacrifices continue to be studied by modern navies, serving as both inspiration and a tactical blueprint. Memorials across the United States pay tribute to the submarines and crews lost in action, ensuring their stories are never forgotten. The United States Submarine Force carries forward this legacy, upholding the same standards of excellence established during the Pacific Campaign. Many of the war's greatest submarine commanders, including Dick O'Kane, are still celebrated for their exceptional skill and bravery. Their contributions were recognized with the highest military honors, cementing their place in naval history. The stories of these legendary skippers and their crews are woven into military heritage programs, keeping their legacy alive for future generations. Even today, submariners look to the past with respect, knowing they stand on the shoulders of those who risked everything in the silent war beneath the waves. Conclusion. The silent service emerged from World War II as one of the most decisive forces in naval warfare, proving the unmatched power of submarines in cutting off enemy supply lines and crippling wartime economies. From overcoming early setbacks with defective torpedoes to pioneering aggressive attack strategies, United States submariners adapted to every challenge, ultimately shaping the outcome of the Pacific conflict. Their successes not only accelerated Japan's defeat, but also influenced the evolution of submarine technology, leading to the nuclear-powered fleets of the Cold War and beyond. Honored for their valor and strategic brilliance, these submariners left behind a legacy of excellence that continues to define undersea warfare today. Their impact, though often silent, echoes through history as a testament to the power of innovation, resilience, and relentless pursuit of victory. Thank you for listening to the TrackPads podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with others who are passionate about military history. You can find more stories, articles, and podcast episodes at trackpads.com, where we are armored in facts and driven by stories. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, the silent warriors beneath the waves who help shape the course of history.